Tonight on NewsVision, a University of Alabama student has been found dead after vanishing from a club in Barcelona, Spain. We'll bring you the latest. Plus, driverless taxi service Waymo expands its service to Coral Gables. We'll show you how you can get around the city without having to tip a driver.
Looking at that car and seeing there's no driver in there was kind of crazy. It was surreal.
And later on, March is here and Hurricanes men's basketball is set to face off against the University of Missouri Tigers in the first round of March Madness. All this and more on tonight's show, and it starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to NewsVision. I'm Lazaro Chavez.
And I'm Madison Block. Thank you for joining us.
Breaking news, Spanish police say the body of a missing American college student has been found.
The body was located on a stretch of beach in Barcelona where police have been looking for 20-year-old James Gracie.
Authorities say it appears to be an accident. Gracie was last seen leaving a bar Tuesday morning after apparently getting separated from his friends. His mother says they've recovered his stolen phone. Gracie is a junior at the University of Alabama. He was visiting friends in Spain for spring break. Barcelona is a popular city for many college students as a study abroad destination. The University of Miami's Office of Study Abroad programs allows hundreds of students to study in countries around the world, including Barcelona. Earlier, I spoke with one UM student who took advantage of the U Barcelona program last semester to find out what his experience was like.
So I only went to Shoko on Monday nights, which is the typical night that the study abroad students go. So when I would go there, surrounded by people from University of Miami and from all other schools, the whole setup of all the clubs on the Barcelona beach side is very interesting. You have Shoko, you have a couple under ones, and they're almost like they're underground, right on the beach side. You can hear the waves practically from right outside there. So that in itself makes it very unique, where people can kind of just, if they're willing to push people, they want to make people feel uncomfortable, they can get them towards the beach. They can get them in an area where there's not a lot of places to go. There's really one street you drive up to get there. So I think the layout of it is definitely something to be questioned right now, and maybe a big reason why people aren't feeling safe.
We asked the University of Miami Study Abroad office for a comment on the safety of UM students in Barcelona, and they gave us this. The University of Miami is committed to the safety and well-being of all students participating in study abroad programs, including those currently studying in Barcelona. Students complete required pre-departure orientation, including safety factors, are enrolled in international travel monitoring systems, and have access to on-site staff and 24/7 emergency support.
Back here in town, Zoo Miami has reopened after a series of bomb threats forced multiple evacuations and closures over the weekend.
Officials say threats came in for 4 days straight, prompting heavy police response each time.
Layla Pettis is live at the zoo and joins us with more. Layla?
The zoo was open today during regular hours from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m., but visitors noticed a much heavier police presence. Zoo officials say this all started on Friday when the first threat forced the zoo to shut down for the day. Then on Saturday, 2 more threats were made, leading to evacuations, and then another one on Sunday. The 4th threat was made on Monday after the zoo had already closed for the day. Authorities believe that these may be swatting hoaxes, which is when someone makes a false emergency call to trigger a large police response. Now, deputies searched the area after each threat was made and they found nothing, but still security is being stepped up with more K-9 units and more officers. The investigation is still ongoing, but as of Monday, there have been no more bomb threats. Reporting live, Layla Pettis, UMTV.
Thank you, Layla. Cuba's electric grid suffered a total collapse this week, leaving millions without power. It's the first since the United States effectively shut off the flow of oil to the island. U.S. President Trump said last week that Cuba is in deep trouble and that the U.S. may or may not be part of a, quote, friendly takeover of the country. And here in Miami, many in the Cuban community take that as a sign that the end of the regime may finally be nearing. I spoke with exiles and experts about what a possible turning point could mean, both for Cuba and for South Florida. In parks and cafes across Little Havana in Miami, the game of dominoes is more than just a pastime. For many Cuban exiles, it's long been a symbol of hope. The hope that one day, the last domino, the communist regime in Cuba, will fall. Right now, life on the island has become harder for many Cuban citizens. The country is facing a deep economic crisis, with severe shortages of food, medicine, and fuel. Rolling blackouts, sometimes lasting 15 hours a day, have left millions of Cubans in the dark.
Economic activity without power is slowing down dramatically, which has real dramatic impacts on the Cuban people. People are literally tearing the doors off of their homes, breaking them down into pieces of wood and cooking with wood in the streets.
For many in Miami, the current moment feels familiar. Former political prisoner Manolo Potos Pajares remembers the early years of the revolution, when hope for change seemed just around the corner. He survived years in forced labor camps cutting sugarcane, before eventually making his way to the United States.
I hope that with the favor of God, the domino continues falling and Cuba falls, at least taking the weight off my heart that we could not still live as slaves, and that my dream came true, that the dictatorship fell.
And Pajares is not the only person with hopes of this. Some 2 million Cubans left the island since the revolution in 1959 to move to the United States, and many of them live right here in South Florida. And in recent years, a new wave of exiles have arrived, fleeing economic hardship and political repression. While some of them say they would like to return to Cuba, others warn that if conditions continue to worsen, the United States could see a new migration crisis. Cuba sits just 90 miles from Florida.
We could see instability, and any U.S. administration, Republican or Democrat, is not going to want to have an unstable situation 90 miles from its shores. So that's the dangerous game that we're in.
And while politics and economics continue to shift, some exiles are focused on preserving the history of what they left behind. Gladys Gomez Rossi came to the United States as a child through Operation Pedro Pan in the early 1960s. She later helped found the Cuban Heritage Collection right here at the University of Miami, which protects what the regime tried to erase, the stories of exile and resistance.
A lot of things happen in between that they really have disappeared from the Cuban history. And we do have it. When people start going to Cuba, they're going to want to know more about what happened in between.
For Manolo Potos Pajares, the future of Cuba is still uncertain. But after a lifetime in exile, his hope is still the same.
I trust that many people who have money in this country will go to Cuba to expand the wealth and will raise the people up from the misery they're in.
And until that day comes, many in Miami's Cuban community will continue to watch and wait, hoping that one day soon, the last domino will finally fall. Now, some cities in South Florida have begun preparing activities and police for celebrations in the event the regime falls. The city of Hialeah, for example, is hosting a Free Cuba rally next Tuesday, bringing together members of the community, elected officials, and musical guests. Mayor Brian Calvo called the event a celebration of the Cuban people's unbreakable spirit.
Parking on campus has been a consistent problem for students, but now the university is offering a new program that could help students get to their classes a little bit faster. That's thanks to a new valet service offered by the Department of Parking and Transportation. The service will be available outside the Herbert Business School and the UM Law School, and it costs $8 an hour plus tax. All students, staff, faculty, and visitors have access to the service.
So whether you're just short on time trying to get to class, or you're here for a concert out at Gusman Hall, or you're visiting the Shalala Center as part of an event there, valet is a new offering.
Officials also hope to expand this service to take students to basketball games at the Watsco Center on campus. The valet service runs Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
And along with valet drivers on campus, you might be seeing an empty driver's seat in cars across Miami. Shay McDonald explains.
No driver, no one behind the wheel, just sensors, camera, and software. This is the newest self-driving rideshare, Waymo. After years of testing in Phoenix and operating fully driverless rides in San Francisco and Los Angeles, Waymo has officially made its way to Miami. But for many first-time riders, that initial moment can be shocking.
We're looking all over the street for the Waymo. We just see our car just pull up right there next to us. Looking at that car and seeing there's no driver in there was kind of crazy. It was surreal.
Now soon students may be able to access one of these Waymos. As you can see, the 360-degree camera going off right there. But for a little bit of a test drive here on UMTV, let's go take a look. Now we're inside the Waymo right now. My equipment is in the back seat, but the one thing not here, a driver.
Cameras monitor the exterior, sensors track traffic, and the car uses artificial intelligence trained on billions of real-world and simulated miles of driving data to navigate city streets. Inside the vehicle, riders control temperature, music, legroom, and route details from a touchscreen or their cell phones.
I don't have to ask a person to play music. That's my favorite thing. It's relaxing. Like, you can pretty much talk about whatever you want, do whatever you want.
But while it seems like the future has arrived, riders of driverless cars have brought up concerns, including incidents of pets run over in San Francisco, overtaken stopped school buses in Atlanta, and most recently in Miami, it blocked one of only 2 vehicle bridges connecting mainland Florida to South Beach. After the incident, Miami-Dade Commissioner Roberto J. Gonzalez posted this statement on X, showing that Miami officials are watching closely as testing continues. Asking the Miami-Dade Department of Transportation how they're handling Waymos, I received this statement, referring to this Florida statute showing that autonomous vehicles and their distribution are a state, not local decision. Another question is price. A ride from the school of communication just to the center of campus costs $5 in an Uber in comparison to $15 in a Waymo. Despite the challenges, Waymo's most frequent users believe robo-taxis are just a price tag away from becoming the norm.
In San Francisco now, it's cheaper than Uber to take Waymos, and you don't have to tip, you don't have to do any of that stuff. So yeah, I do see myself only taking Waymos. I don't know why I would not.
So whether you're ready to hop in or still holding out for a human driver, the future of rideshare may already be pulling beside you. For UMTV, Shay McDonald.
In honor of St. Patrick's Day this week, members of the University of Miami debate team had a chance to test their skills against some very special guests. The debate team squared off against the Irish Times debate champions on the topic of social media regulation. The Irish Times debate is a prestigious, long-running debate competition for students in higher education in Ireland, where the 3 winning speakers win an all-expenses-paid tour of the United States.
Oh, everything is so American, so that was great, but all the people are so nice. We haven't met a single mean person, especially in the university, so.
They encouraged audience participation and ended with both sides answering several questions. The audience voted the Irish debaters the champions after a close race. The Irish team will continue its national tour in Tennessee.
Time for a short break, but don't go anywhere because coming up, we'll show you the creative solution one nonprofit is offering to deal with South Florida food waste. And we'll tell you how one organization is using its resources to strengthen family and health in the community. These stories and more in just a moment.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire. How to control the flames. What to do with hot coals. How to secure your chains.
There's no sparks.
But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Tomorrow is the vernal equinox. That's a fancy way of saying it's the first day of spring in the northern hemisphere.
In the south, the day kicks off fall instead. On the equinox, the hemispheres get roughly the same 12 hours each of day and night. Student meteorologist Ann Badowski joins us with more on the forecast for the first day of spring and beyond. Ann?
I know, I'm so happy that those spring temperatures are starting to come back, especially because it was pretty cold this morning. Temperatures are on the rise still at 73 degrees here in Miami, definitely a little bit warmer than what we were experiencing a bit earlier in the day. That temperature trend is pretty prevalent here in Miami. You can see 7-degree change from this time yesterday. Kind of the same story across the board for South Florida as well. That warming trend is going to stick with us as well. Friday, temperatures are going to stay fairly comfortable, 75 degrees, definitely a little bit chillier, especially in the morning. But by the time we head into early next week, that's when we're going to be hitting kind of our average temperatures for what we're very used to here in South Florida, around 80 degrees. On top of that, those temperatures are going to feel just a little bit hotter. Right now we have some wind that is helping us cool down just a little bit, but as we head into early in the weekend, you can see some of these wind values are going to start to subside. That means that that warm air is just going to kind of sit over South Florida and make some temperatures ever so slightly unbearable, not as refreshing as they have been over the past few days. Tomorrow you might have some spot showers. We have a few showers over Miami you can see in the afternoon, but by the time those overnight hours roll around, even a little bit on Saturday, those skies are going to be absolutely clear and beautiful, especially as you start your first few days of spring. Spring starts tomorrow, 75 degrees and beautifully sunny as well. You can see those flowers starting to bloom here in Florida. It's going to be absolutely enjoyable, especially as those rain values are kind of out. Chilly conditions are going to be staying behind. We had some record cold for our winter temperatures, but luckily that's going to be over. We are expecting some higher temperatures over the next 3 months over our average. Rainfall is going to be staying the same, which means our drought conditions aren't going to be expected to improve super drastically. Over the next few days, though, those temperatures are going to be starting to increase. Rain chances are start to go down, and by next week, weather will be absolutely beautiful. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ann. Miami-Dade County is facing a growing waste problem, with landfill space expected to run out within the next few years.
But one local organization is offering a sustainable solution. Emma Balleste joins us live in studio to tell us more. Emma?
While most of Miami's food waste actually ends up in a landfill, one organization is actually doing so much to change that. Compost for Life is collecting food waste from hundreds of homes in South Florida and turning it into nutrient-rich soil. But without a state mandate, composting is actually becoming an issue. I actually took a closer look at what this could mean for South Florida's waste future. While most of Miami is still waking up at a farm in the Redlands south of the city, yesterday's leftovers are getting a second life. Compost for Life started in 2020 with just a truck and 5 families. Today, they're diverting tens of thousands of pounds of food waste every week.
Compost is the way not only to stop sending trash to the landfill, but to honor all these nutrients, all this water, all the resources, and use them again to clean the air, to produce better food, to better soil, to clean the water.
In Miami-Dade County, most food waste ends up in landfills where it breaks down without oxygen and releases methane, which is a greenhouse gas far more potent than carbon dioxide. And while some states require food waste to be composted, Florida does not.
Many states actually have a mandate to compost the food. We didn't in our region, and for a long time we didn't have any composter.
As a result, most food waste here still goes straight to the landfill, which adds to a growing and urgent problem. According to Miami-Dade County, landfill space is running out, with both of the city's major landfills expected to reach capacity by 2030. One sustainable action could be found on this farm, where the process looks different. Food scraps are mixed with dry leaves and turned regularly to keep oxygen flowing, allowing them to break down naturally. The result is rich, fertile soil.
South Florida is one of the most fragile ecosystems. We are literally drowning, so we need to restore the soil.
And this effort isn't just happening on farms. At the University of Miami, food waste is being separated before it hits the trash.
We started with 1 dining hall, then 2 dining halls, then the food court. We used to be only behind the kitchen, training the kitchen workers, the chef and his team, to put veggie scrap in that pink bin.
All across Miami, bright pink buckets are sitting on porches, outside restaurants, and inside schools, each one keeping waste out of the landfills.
Compost is the way that we can look in the eyes to the future generations and say we are doing all that we can, and we are building a better future.
From food scraps to fresh, fertile soil, change can start with something as simple as a bucket. For UMTV, I'm Emma Balleste.
It's Miami Climate Week, and across the city, organizations are hosting events to help people better understand and protect our environment. One of those events is bringing South Floridians face-to-face with the marine life right now in our own backyard. Nearly 100 people stopped by the Crandon Park Visitors and Biscayne Nature Center for a day of learning and exploration over the weekend. Guests met the team behind Miami Eco Adventures and got the chance to get up close and personal with some of South Florida's marine life. The Touch Tank experience lets participants see and even touch coastal creatures like snails, conches, and sea urchins, while learning how pollution and marine debris can harm these animals.
My favorite part about today was being able to meet and touch the turtles because I've always loved turtles ever since I was younger, and it always would like frustrate me when I would see the turtles like caught up in like the plastic from like the trash and the littering.
Sea turtle nesting season is underway from now until October. Hundreds of sea turtle nests will soon line Miami's beaches. Experts say protecting those nests starts with simple steps, like keeping beaches clean and limiting trash that can end up in the water.
One fraternity on campus is fundraising in an unusual way to help raise funds to cure blood cancer. Vivian Imoya joins us live from campus to tell us more. Vivian?
I'm here at Lakeside Patio where A Pi fraternity member Lorenzo Cavallino has been sitting in a rocking chair for 32 hours, and he still has 24 more to go. The Rockathon is in its second year here at UM in support of the Gift of Life Marrow Registry, which aims to cure blood cancer through bone marrow and stem cell transplants. Through the organization, students can have their cheeks swabbed to join the donor registry and check if they are compatible for a transplant. So far, they have raised $52,000 of their $60,000 goal. The fraternity started fundraising earlier this week through small incentives like doing a backflip and running 6 miles for a certain donation amount. Today, they are collecting donations at Lakeside Patio. Every $60 raised goes towards the funding of one swab kit. Live from the Rockathon, Vivian Amoya, UMTV.
Thank you, Vivian. Philanthropy is not just happening on the UM campus, though. People are donating to causes in the greater Miami community. As Mary Stokes shows us, a recent $3 million contribution to the Ronald McDonald House Charities of South Florida is changing the lives of families in need.
I'll be building.
Nice. Like most kids her age, 6-year-old Jamaica resident Kalia Brown loves playing and petting dogs. But unlike most kids, Kalia is also battling cancer. Cancer treatments mean long days at the hospital, yet somehow her spirit hasn't faded.
And I'm gonna get a Pomeranian pup when I'm better.
Her optimism is something that her mom says has been sustained not just by her doctors and by family members, but by the community that stepped in during one of the most difficult times in their lives. When Kalia needed treatment far from home, the family found support at the Ronald McDonald House Charities of South Florida.
There was somebody that understand what we were going through and were willing to assist us in any way that they could.
Well, Ronald, you were just telling me that they're not just thinking about the families of today, but the families of tomorrow. In fact, they've started construction on a brand new facility just down the street that'll bring hope to families for generations to come. That's thanks to a $3 million donation from Ken Griffin, the billionaire founder of Miami-based investment firm Citadel. His gift is helping drive a $33 million expansion aimed at serving more families and eliminating wait lists, saving families over $1 million in housing costs.
And this project, which is the newest one, we're leaving a legacy that is going to impact as many families as possible because the need for housing and hospital is incredible.
For Kalia and her mom, that expansion means more kids like her will have a place to laugh, to create, and to simply be kids.
Going to the playroom, arts and crafts. I like it all. I like coloring, I like drawing, making snakes.
In the middle of a difficult fight, the space to simply be a child can make all the difference. Mary Stokes, UMTV.
Up next on NewsVision, March Madness is here and the Canes are in St. Louis, Missouri ahead of the game tomorrow. I'll have the details on that game and more on the tournament. Plus, the Olympics of baseball happened here in Miami. Find out who took home the title in the World Baseball Classic. We'll take you there after a short break.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
Of course I've thought about it, but there's all this stuff in the way.
Oh, you're not kidding.
The house, the kids are going to college.
My new car.
Car? You bought a new car?
Oh, hey, you should meet my friend Avo. Avo's a retirement coach. He'll help get you started.
But what does Avo tell you to do?
You don't know? Focus on your future. Your goals can still be met.
But how?
Target your tomorrow. And use the Avo bet.
You sing?
Not really. A's for taking action Start off with a plan.
You built these letters?
Yep. V is for variety. There's so many ways you can.
I follow you.
Come on. O's for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice sign.
Thanks, I made it myself.
Cool.
Welcome to sports. I'm Taryn Jacobs. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's March Madness. The Canes punched their ticket this Selection Sunday, celebrating at the Rathskeller when they heard their name called as the 7th seed in the West region. They'll tip off tomorrow night against 10 seed Missouri in the round of 64. Liam Hickey is en route to St. Louis with more on the game. Liam?
Canes took on Texas A&M at a hostile Kyle Field in the college football playoff a few months ago. Head football coach Mario Cristobal told his players it's our 100 versus their 100,000. And now with Miami men's hoops tipping off in the NCAA tournament tomorrow against Missouri in Missouri, head coach Jay Lucas will likely be echoing a similar message. Despite entering as the higher overall seed, the Canes will be facing a true road environment, playing at the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, just 125 miles away from Missouri's campus. With a stadium capacity of nearly 20,000, Miami can expect almost every single seat to be filled by an opposing fan. But Jay Lucas has said this team has battled adversity throughout the season. They've been excellent on the road with a record of 8-2 and have won against some of the toughest crowds in the ACC. Going into Friday night, Lucas said, "No one is giving us a chance because it's in St. Louis, but it doesn't matter. We are still going to show up, lace them up, and do what we do." On the road for March Madness, Liam Hickey, UMTV.
Thanks, Liam. And the first stint of March Madness games started today and are still going. So let's take a look at some of the results so far. Earlier today, 9-seed TCU beating 8-seed Ohio State 66-64. TCU advancing after that win, and High Point University, the 12-seed, upsetting number 5 Wisconsin, a final score of 83-82. Chase Johnston of High Point dropping in his first 2-point basket to take the lead. The overall 1-seed Duke almost losing to Siena, down by 11 at the half. They were able to come back and win 71-65. And then the 5th-seeded Vanderbilt Commodores holding on against 12th-seeded McNeese State, winning by 10 and advancing to the round of 32. The only game going on right now, UNC versus VCU. UNC is currently winning that one in the first half. A lot more games on the docket for this evening and tomorrow, and a lot more time to go to see the magic of March. And Canes baseball definitely got those bats going this weekend, scoring 19 runs over 3 games against Duke. But that was not enough. The Canes were mercy ruled in the rubber match, 20-10. That is one high-scoring ball game. So let's take a look at some hits from Sunday's game. You have Mikey Torres there with an RBI double. Canes go up 6-3 in the 4th after that one. Next up, no one else but Danny Dingers doing what he does best. A 3-run bomb out of the park, his 7th of the season, tying Yo-Yo Morales for 4th most home runs in program history at 49. And up next, Alex Sosa hitting dingers all season long as well, brings in 2 runs there. But all those hits will not be enough for Miami to take home that series, but they did win their midweek game against crosstown rivals Florida International University 10-3. The Canes need to find momentum within its bullpen because looking at these numbers, we know that putting runs on the board is not the problem. And sticking with baseball, the World Baseball Classic Championship happened right here in Miami at Lone Depot Park, and it was a heartbreaker for Americans. Venezuela won its first World Baseball Classic on Tuesday night, a 3-2 nail-biter over Team USA. The game was tied up in the 8th inning, and thanks to this 2-run homer from Bryce Harper, United States tied that up, but the difference maker came in the top of the 9th. Seattle Mariner Eugenio Suarez ripping a RBI double to put Venezuela on top. Team USA last won the WBC in 2017.
You know, Taryn, the game must have been an emotional roller coaster for some of the fans in there, but it also must have been a full circle moment for Miguel Cabrera, you know, winning that as team manager for Venezuela when he had won a World Series here in Miami for us. I mean, that must have been really a full circle moment.
100%. So special for them and the team, and just to see how much the world can come together to play the sport of baseball, which is America's sport in the first place, but it's so incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's unfortunate the U.S. happened to lose, but you know, you got to say congratulations to the Venezuelan team.
Definitely.
Well, that's all the time we have for NewsVision. Thank you for joining us.
We will see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a good night.